Nicole, what's happening? Like seriously, like it's past it's concerning at this point because when Ed walked in the way that you was and you started to cry, what are you crying for, Nicole? Nicole, what's going on? That man doesn't like you. He doesn't want you. If he did, he would have showed it. If he did like you or want you, you wouldn't be questioning it. But you crying, sis, my God, today and tomorrow and the next. It's a little bit concerning. Maybe a lot of bit. Maybe a lot of bit. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is TammyTalks. We are here to talk Ready to Love, Season 11, Episode 6, Diddy Pose. Who cleared this? Who cleared this? So y'all were sitting in the boardroom or sitting in whatever the creative space, and y'all really thought, Eureka, let's use Diddy Pose as the episode title. Where's the self-awareness? Where is the self-awareness? Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, hype the video, and then leave your comments down below. So the episode picks up right where the last episode left off, where remember Christina and Donna were called to the front by the guys because they were up for elimination down at the Motown revival, okay? Now, Christina said in her confessional she just knew she was safe because according to Christina, she had connections. I don't know if Christina really had connections to be real, but according to Christina, she had connections, two of them, and so she thought that she was safe. But the guys were like, "Nah, we're good on you, okay?" Because it's giving a little bit of gold digger. A little bit, not a lot of bit. And I understand what Christina meant when she said that if her expectations are too much for the guys, then they aren't ready to take care of a woman. Totally understand that. But these are men that you just met 2 weeks ago, right? I feel like you can't expect a man that you just met 2 weeks ago to give you $300 for a massage, knowing that y'all are not even seeing each other exclusively or anything like that, especially when he knows that you're dating other guys because he's also dating other women because we're in a process. So while I 1000% understand what Christina means, this is just not it. You know what I mean? This wasn't it. But she takes it a lot more graciously than I thought she would. And she tells everybody, peace out. So Tommy lets the ladies know that they are in charge this week and that this week everyone should be clearing out all the skeletons in their closet, releasing all their fears and going deep. And then, some guys are going to go home at the end of this. So we get our first group date, which is Nicole, Donna, Vince, Steve, and Chris. So they are on a yoga date. They're doing hot yoga. I love hot yoga. I've done it a couple times. Now, this didn't really look like hot yoga in the real sense of it, but hot yoga is a good sweat, okay? I've done aerial yoga too, which I absolutely love aerial yoga. I thought that was so fun. So it's going along well. You can tell that Donna and Nicole do yoga because they was hitting them poses good, and everybody else was just, going along to get along. So Donna and Chris are the first little segmented conversation that we see. And Donna's open to getting to know Chris, even though they did not have a connection during the mixer. Now, remember when that first group of people were sent over, the first group of, it was ladies and guys, right? Were sent over to that second mixer. Chris immediately sat down with Donna and was asking her what's the tea, like what's what, like who's feeling me, who's not, whatever the case. And I think it rubbed her the wrong way, as it should have, because it was rude, right? She also feels that Chris talks too much, basically. He overtalks conversations. He tries to monopolize and control conversations, which is a turnoff because you're just talking, which means that you're not trying to get to know me. So Chris said that as a teenager, he was overly romantic, and it was a turn off for some of the girls because he had keloids and gap teeth, and he wasn't, He wasn't the hottest thing out there. So he learned to be a conversationalist to kind of win the girls over. Okay, but there's a difference between being a conversationalist and then somebody that monopolizes a conversation. And when I thought back about this, a lot of the scenes that we do see Chris in, it is really just him bumping the gums a lot. We don't really see him asking too many questions of the ladies. So we then get Vince and Nicole. Nicole says she was most excited to see Vince because Vince makes her laugh. Okay. He don't make everybody laugh, but he make Nicole laugh. So Nicole said that she has always told people that she doesn't want kids, but she does want kids. She's just scared of being a bad mother or failing. Now, I am not a mom, but I feel like by her saying that, by her having that kind of self-awareness, I don't think you're going to be a bad mom. You know what I mean? I feel like those are the typical fears that most people have. So Vince tries to kind of empathize with her and lets her know, look, I was driving with my kids one day when they were in the fourth grade, and I had to let them know I'm a first time parent as well. And that's why I get a lot of stuff wrong. And he said that his daughter told him, oh, so it's like we're kind of raising you as well. And he's like, yeah, it's a learning process, right? It's definitely a learning process. And the older that we get, we do realize that our parents were just trying to do the best that they were. They were trying to do the best that they could. They were figuring out life the same way that we were figuring out life. We were just drastically younger. So Vince tells her that as long as you do everything that you can do, you should be able to sleep at night and be happy with whatever the result is that you get. So Nicole keeps saying that Ed is her top connection. And I'm like, girl, why do you think that? Why do you think that Ed is your top connection? Because you like him? Because you had a crush on him back in the day? Come on, Nicole. Come on. So we then see Donna and Steven. They're outside talking. And justice for Steven. We don't get a lot of Steven. We don't get enough of Steven, which means that Steven ain't messy, right? So Steven is talking to Donna and he asks her, why have you been single for 7 years? Donna says she was in 2 back-to-back very bad relationships. And so she started to kind of question herself, what maybe she was doing wrong, how she was moving or whatever. But she started her PhD program. And now that she has the time to date and kind of reinvent herself, it just so happened to have been 7 years. Okay. So Stephen explained how his mom was always somebody that he could go to bounce ideas and stuff off of. But since his mother has passed away, unfortunately, he no longer has that. So he now has to lean on a lot of other women in his family and in his circle to, kind of, I guess, make sure he ain't tripping when it comes to the ladies, is what I took it. I like Steven. I think we need to see more of Steven. Justice for Steven, okay? Ashley and Chris are talking. And it's really as Ashley's trying to leave. They're at the car and Chris, this is what I didn't understand. Y'all was just in yoga together. Why did you wait until now to want to have a conversation with her? What were you doing then? I guess. So Chris was saying that he was not having a good time at the Motown revival. And he's kind of struggling because he doesn't want to waste time talking to people that he doesn't like. And, he has to be attentive. And it sounds like Chris wants a woman to chase him, is what it sounds like. But he lets her know he's struggling. We also find out that Chris fell in love with someone really, really fast, okay? Just 5 months ago, and she ghosted him. He don't understand what happened. And I, along with Ashley, I was turned off by that because it's giving you got a bruised ego. You know why that woman left you. You know why that woman ghosted you. You know what happened. So the fact that you want to make it seem as if you're some lovesick puppy dog that got hurt, I don't like that, Chris. Because it's a little manipulative if we're going to be real. And I just, I didn't like it. So Chris is saying that he does not want to waste time with individuals that he's not interested in. I think we've been able to see from the first episode that Chris is not into any of these ladies because I feel like every scene we do see of Chris, a lot of what he is saying is that, he's worried about not finding his woman here. He's worried about not finding a match here. And it's because you don't see a match. You don't see one. And I feel like we need to get to a point on this show where these people know that they don't see anybody that they like, that they're really interested in, and we got to start bowing out. We got to start bowing out. Lauren and Bello are on a tiki bar boat date, and Lauren is questioning why is he single, and then it's like, what's going on with you? Like, you seem almost too good to be true. Are you secretly married? Bello was saying, not secretly married, but I do have a 1-year-old daughter. It was a surprise that he found out 5 or 6 months ago. Is that what he said? 5 or 6 months ago about the daughter, and she is the product of a one night stand. I said, oh, in another state. So, in another state, because y'all are in Detroit. So you went down to Miami and was wilding out, fucked somebody and got her pregnant. He said that he has seen the baby twice, but then said that he wants to be very involved in his child's life. So this baby is 1 years old. 1 year old. I understand that you just met her, let's say 6 months ago. So in 6 months, you've seen your child twice, one of which you said was just to get the paternity test. Bello's slip is showing a little bit for me. His slip is showing a little bit. Lauren is questioning whether or not anything could go forward with the baby mother, and he was like, "Nope, strictly co-parenting. I just want to be in my child's life. Act like it." So Lauren said that she likes that Bello is open and very straightforward about his life. I don't know how straightforward he is if you had to ask him that to get to find out that he had a child, but I'm going to take your word for it. We then see Dominique and Cardi out on a trivia date. Cardam is their trivia team name. I love trivia. Now, this was a bunch of Backstreet Boy trivia. I didn't know any of the answers either. I was in Sinker, okay, back when they were hot back in the 90s, but they had a really good time, and they have a conversation about whether or not Dominique could see herself being married again. She said her last relationship was 18 months ago, and for a while she didn't because she felt like the marriage was broken and all that type of stuff, but now she can see herself married again, and that's good. That's good. So they're looking into each other's eyes, and it's sensual, and Cardi wanted a kiss, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen, but he respected it, and that's cool. So the next scene is Lauren, Shannon, Devin. Is it Devin or Devon? Lauren, Shannon, Devon, and Darius, and they are at a speakeasy. I love speakeasies. I like smoke easies too, but I love speakeasies. Little hole in the wall. I feel like they have the best food sometimes. They have the best drinks. It's always like a cute little vibe. I went to a speakeasy last year here in Milwaukee. I was at a Christmas party, and somebody started like passing like a little sheet of paper around, letting us know, certain of us know that there's a speakeasy downstairs. So we like went down. We were at like a public market, and we went downstairs, and then you turn the corner, and there was like this little rickety looking red door, but when you open it, full blown speakeasy. Fire. I had the drinks were so good there. We started ordering some of the food. The food was good. Love a speakeasy. So Devin looked a little underdressed for what they were doing. However, Lauren said that she liked his outfit, said that he's always well put together. I don't know if it was shade or not, but he looked a little underdressed compared to everybody else. So Lauren is like, look, Steve wants us to go deep and talk about something very personal. Who wants to go first? Shannon decides to speak up first, and she shares that during her most recent grad program, she fainted, smacked the left side of her head into a wall, and so she has post-concussive syndrome. I didn't get a chance to look that up, but she said it still impacts her today. So I wonder if it like triggers headaches or a little bit of like memory loss, but I hate that for her. Darius shares how when he was a kid, all the little girls would line up and kiss his hand and call him King Darius. Darius, we have seen you be deeper than this. What's T? Because we've seen you be deeper than this. Whatever. Lauren shares how her parents had a terrible relationship, and it led her down a road of not really knowing what love is, but knowing that this is not what love is. But after having her son, she now realizes that guys are good until they show her otherwise, okay? And then Devon said the same thing, that his parents fought a lot. His father could not get along with his mother. I thought it was interesting how he phrased that. But he said that, he wants to break that generational curse. He now knows that he wants to be whole and healed before getting involved with a woman. And I said, kudos to Devon. Kudos to him. I feel like Devon is probably the most emotionally intelligent person on this show so far that we've seen on this cast. So we get to Nicole and Ed. Nicole is like a little girl seeing her teenage crush. Here's the thing, Nicole. We have all had teenage crushes, right? We all had that one guy in high school that we would see walking past, going to gym or going to home ec or going to, whatever the case, that we had a crush on. In college, we all would see that one guy that we was like, damn, he's fine. That we would sit in the union. I went to a PWI union, but I know HBCU at the quad, on the yard, we would all see that one guy that we would be like, damn, huge crush, right? But I feel like 15 years later, I had my 20th year class reunion a couple years ago from high school. And was it? Wow, that has been a couple years. Getting old, ain't it? But I remember I saw a guy that I had a huge crush on, and it was like, okay, that was my high school crush. Okay, he still looks good or whatever, but that was it. You leave that where it is. This is interesting that Nicole has this, and the way she's moving about it too. I have some college crush. I'm like, oh, he was so fine when we were in college, but now 15 years late, I don't know. I don't get it. But so you can tell she's giddy, she's bubbly, like she's a little shy, she's smitten. Like it's almost embarrassing, but I'm gonna roll with her. So he asks her, what is something that she feels that she should know about a person that she doesn't know about him? Now, Ed posed the question. She wants to know how he previously showed up in relationships that has affected the person he is today. He does not answer. He kind of stares at her. So she reframes it a little bit. So the next question, the follow-up is, what is the most pain that you have ever felt that was not physical? Ed's ignorant ass said that I got a high tolerance for pain all around. Nicole, that man don't like you, because for him to not even want to share something like this, because he could have said his divorce. He's been divorced, right? He could have said his divorce. He could have said the loss of a grandparent. He could have said the loss of a parent. He could have said the loss of an aunt or an uncle, a family member, a friend. That man don't like you. So Nicole lets Ed know that a deal breaker for her is someone that will not open up to her. Is it a deal breaker for you, Nicole? Because I feel like it's not breaking Ed. It's not doing that. We then see Ashley and Bello that are out. I still stand very firm. I don't think Ashley has a person on this cast for her. I still think that Ashley is just too young for this particular subset of men, but we'll see. So Ashley lets us know she is Indian Cherokee. Y'all love saying Cherokee. Y'all love saying Cherokee. I actually do have Indian in my family. My great grandfather was, and he was Blackfoot. But I don't go around saying it, because if you look at me, I don't look like I have Indian in me. You look at my mother, she does, which was her grandfather. But I want Black people to be released from the shackles of wanting to always say we got Indian in our blood. But okay. So Ashley feels that she is ready for marriage because she has done the work in therapy, and actually she's going to see her therapist on Wednesday. So Bella was like, okay, well, what have you learned? Ashley has learned that she is a very strong person, even though sometimes she feels that she is not. She suddenly gets emotional, and we find out that she has had to see a loved one go through a really, really dark period where I guess they had some type of mental break or they suffer from mental illness, and she had to either witness maybe an episode or take care of that person or whatever the case, and she gets really emotional about it. And I think Ashley has talked about how mental illness is very like near and dear to her before as well. So we get the first ladies lounge. Not the is this the first one? No. We get to the ladies lounge. So Lauren off rip lets ladies know that Bello just found out he had a child not long ago, and everybody was like, "Oh." So the ladies are not feeling Chris. Donna starts off by saying that Chris is not a connection. He talks too damn much. Ashley piggybacks and said that Chris is very insecure, and he does give insecure. He does. Chris has not been talking to these ladies to really find out about them. Chris has been, every time we've seen Chris talk to a lady, it's like, well, I don't want this. I don't want, like, I see what they're saying. Lauren said that Darius is like talking to the pastor. The ladies then point out Ed. They say that Ed is very unattentive. Nicole claims, well, I don't know. I don't get that with him. And I think was it Ashley that was like, girl, it's been 15 years. Do you even know if this man likes you? And she doesn't know. But then she said she's not ready to let him go. Oh, Nicole. Like Nicole gotta let us know. Did y'all fuck or something? Is it a soul tie situation? Did y'all have like a secret kiss on campus? Because this is interesting, right? So Tommy then said, Nicole, you have created this narrative and fairy tale about him in your head, and that's exactly what it is. Here's the thing. This is like, I have favorite celebrities. Now, I don't stand anybody because I think this shit is weird. But I have celebrities that I admire, that I look up to. I love their music. I love their TV shows, their movies, but I don't ever want to meet them because you hear so many stories about somebody meeting their favorite celebrity. You met your favorite singer, you met your favorite actor, or whatever the case, and that person is rude because they're human and they might be having a bad day, right? It's not an excuse for them, but maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they were in a rush and weren't able to give you as much attention as you probably would have wanted, your favorite athlete or something like that. What I think is happening with Nicole is it would have been best if Ed were never on this show and she never got the opportunity to get close to him in this way. But it makes me wonder, girl, have you been stalking this man's Facebook? Are you following his LinkedIn? It's just something about it's a little odd. So the two guys up for elimination are Chris and Ed. So Ashante is out with Chris. And Ashante's like, so are you talking to the ladies? Are you making connections? Chris wants to give his top 5. I was with Ashante. Ain't it only like 6 or 7 of y'all? How you got a top 5? So she's like, that's crazy. Which it was. Ashante lets him know, look, the ladies feel that you are not building romantic connections. Okay? The ladies, we also feel that you are very detached. Chris doesn't know what that means. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But you wanted her to break it down a little bit more for you. And so she does. The ladies feel that you are not putting forth effort. So therefore, we are not going to put forth effort into you, and you're giving off a friend vibe. Chris is not ready to love. Chris takes it in stride. And he's like, you know what? I understand what they're saying because you know what you've been doing. He appreciates the feedback, and he said he's going to move differently in the future. Shout out to Chris for taking this the way that you should. Nicole and Ed. Ed walked in, and Nicole was, I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, 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 no. Why are you crying, sis? Because now he knows he's going home. Because why else would you be crying? So Nicole lets him know that the women want him to be more open. Okay. Ed feels that he is being open just with limited access. The ladies are like, nope, 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 nope. We don't even know if you're ready for a girlfriend or a wife. And Nicole tells Ed, you're not ready for love. Ed had the audacity, to guard to Temerity, the nerve, the gumption to say that this is unexpected. Ed, who do you have a connection with? This is the thing. It always blows me when these people are talking about this is unexpected. Is it though? What real connection do you have, Ed? So Nicole starts crying. Nicole is crying, talking about she's devastated because she was happy he was there. I feel like Ed was like a celebrity to her in her mind, not like a real celebrity, but in her mind, Ed was somebody that was unattainable, right? She never thought that she would have the opportunity, the space, the time to be this close to Ed and have a conversation like this with him, or have even the opportunity to date him. And I feel that's why she's like kind of low key crashing out about this. So if he wanted to date you outside of the show, Nicole, he would tell you, just because I'm off the show, that doesn't mean that we have to end. We have each other's phone number, whatever the case. He tells her, though, the journey did what it was supposed to do. I said, child. And that means that we were able to have conversations. Nicole gets up like Maury and runs outside, and she's in the corner crying. And she claims that he was her most emotional connection there. He wasn't, though. It was all in your head. But then she acknowledges she doesn't even know if he likes her. I think Nicole would have done way better in this process if Ed were never there. And it's no shade to Ed. But like I said, I think that she created this like fictional whatever in her head. She had put him so high up on the pedestal. He was a celebrity to her. He was unattainable, untouchable. So the moment that he became real, it became too real for her. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. How do you guys feel about Chris and Ed being the guys to go home? Leave your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.